So let's talk comic book stuff. So listen, you kind of like the first time I saw you, you'd come back from the expo. I've gone through like 6 videos right away, and I'm like, oh, this is so much fun. It's like the new person. They're excited about everything from Casper to Conan. There's Megan going, yeah. And I'm like, this is the best ever.
Aw.
I'm so excited. So, how on earth did this even like, you went this couple minutes in your life and now you're like, I'll check out this comic book thing?
Yeah, because I literally never really read comic books. I read my public library had some Adventures of Tintin and Asterix and Obelix.
Okay.
And I came across those randomly. Like my mom would just bring us to the library and we just set us free and we would just be there for hours because we just grew up reading. And I came across these and those were like the only comic books I read. And it never occurred to me that there'd be more out there or to search for. Like, I don't know what was going on, kid brain, like whatever, I don't know.
She's homeschooled kids. She's a
Yeah.
homeschooler,
I'm
which
a homeschooler.
I'm allowed to say because we homeschooled our kids. So I'm allowed to say you out there, you're not allowed to pick. Just stop. Don't even start typing nonsense about homeschoolers. Just stop. We're allowed to pick on each other. You're not allowed to say anything out there, you public school nonsense.
Your brain just works differently, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And so like when you're in public school, you're surrounded by the popular thing of the day, of the moment. Whereas if you're homeschooled, you just find something you like and you just do it because you don't know if it's cool or not, really. There's no other kids to be like, why would you do that? It's like, I like this.
We had our kids were all in like clubs and sports and stuff. So there was a little bit of like what was going on in the world. They weren't as sheltered as some homeschool kids, but they definitely would not have been exposed to just anything goes like a public school is. Like the kids could take stuff to backpacks and whatever. You never know what's going to happen. So, all right. So that's pretty cool. So that's a pretty big step, though. We still have a gap to fill in here of how you ended up at like the Dallas Comic-Con and the meetups, and there's a big gap there. So let's fill in some gaps.
So I just went through life, not like years, decades, right? Almost of no comic books, not a lot of pop culture, because it kind of wasn't really allowed when I was growing up. Really, a lot of it, pretty strict, like. I don't know what your religious background is, but like very strict Baptist, like very strict Baptist. Is that
Harry Potter's evil kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
got it. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
that.
So I'm the Christian that went to school late in life to get credentials and would fight with other Christians on Harry Potter is evil, but Star Wars is okay, and you're a crazy person. Like something's wrong with you. If that's your equation, like your kids are allowed to dress up and have lightsabers, but you don't see Harry Potter's the exact same freaking thing. Like I literally could do like the metaphors of, let's see, the little guy that's inexperienced wants to go out into the universe and learn things from an old guy to have a magic stick to fight a like literally it's a freaking exact same archetypes.
Well, and that was the thing because my mom was like, Harry Potter's bad, but she watched Star Wars and we watched Star Wars.
They're the exact same thing.
Exact same thing. Anyway, so like I wasn't exposed to this or it wasn't allowed or whatever, right? I did sneak read Harry Potter though. I hid the books under my bed. I'm not gonna lie.
Under your bed? Like in the house? I would expect you to have done it at the library, but under the bed, that's pretty risky. That's pretty hard.
I know, but I shared a room with my sister and we had a bunk bed. It was a pretty small room and we had like so much craft stuff in these bins that slid under our bed. So I put them behind the bins, between the wall and the bins.
Where like the duct tape project is and the craft glue and all that stuff. It's like secretly
like boxes of my mom.
Harry has moved from under the stairs to under Megan's bed. And it's a very weird thing out of context to say out loud, but it's actually what happened. Okay.
It's totally what happened. Yeah. So it really wasn't until, basically the beginning of COVID, and I was bored. I had a lot more time on my hands, like a lot of people did, at the start of all that. And it was at that point I found Carrie Smith, and because I just went on YouTube because COVID, and I was trying to find information and figure out what I thought. And I came across Carrie Smith. And then through her, she was on Friday Night Tights, and I was like, oh, I like her. I want to watch this show. And then Friday Night Tights, and it was weird, but every once in a
You're
while,
such a heathen now. Like
I
you're just such
know.
a heathen now, subjecting yourself to. And Phil, you were a homeschooler too, bro. Sorry that you hated
Oh,
it. I
really?
try to make it reasonable for our kids.
Aw.
Oh, good you, Phil. And Hada Paul is here. Steven Ransom's here. Jace is still making comments. He goes, "I'm the anarchist and metalhead that dropped out of high school the second year to start a life and find my own way." Yeah, man, that is pretty.
I just found metal too in the last like couple years. The only metal I've ever listened to is like Christian metal.
Oh, like Red or Skillet?
Mm-hmm. Which is
an Echo. Do you have an Echo?
I can't hear an Echo.
Okay. Maybe it's just weird. The weather. I'll blame the weather. Everything is easy.
Probably your weather.
So Carrie Smith's your gateway drug to FNT, which is now a gateway drug to metal. Like how kind of metal? Like Sabbath? Like Iron Maiden? Or like
FNT, they had Dan Vasc on one time.
He did the theme song. Yes.
Yes. And then it just like, and then it was Geeks and Gamers, and then I kept finding all the people and just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, look at all these people doing this cool stuff that I have no idea about, but is really, really fun. And I was like, I could do this. I'm going to do this. So yeah, I don't know. It was just this random thing. And I did really want to play games because I have a Switch and I do play games on my Switch, and I'm really bad, but it's fun. But I just didn't technology wise, I wasn't set up for it quite yet. So I thought, I love to read. I'll do comic books. Yeah.
Very cool.
That's how I got here.
She's a heathen now, Mom, because she's reading Killing Joke. Just so y'all know. It's bad. Killing Joke is hardcore. Killing Joke is hardcore. Killing Joke is...
a lot of people recommend that one to me.
It's a classic. So, yeah. All right. So let's... First off, you have to answer my question. Did you open it to see what print it is?
I haven't done that yet. I have it right here.
You need to be really careful when you do this because if it is a first print, we're going to have a problem because I'm not sure I'm going to let you read it. I may have to get you a cheap copy. But
okay.
I think it's like an 11th print.
Well, and the thing is, I don't think it had been opened by anybody yet.
Okay.
Like because oh gosh.
So you can hold the cover up when you take it out. Just be careful with it. So see, guys, how it's green. The green, I'm pretty sure, is first print, and as they do different prints, those colors change. So there's a pink and a yellow and a purple, and all those things. But I think they went back to green. So if she's very careful and opens it to where the publishing stuff is on the early pages, she can tell us what print it is. Because if it's first print, it's actually worth money. I mean, we may need to send her a cheap copy to read because Killing Joke is a difficult book to read because it's cardstock.
I don't even
have all that.
It hasn't even really been open, like, cause it's like stiff. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to break the spine. Okay. Published by DC Comics, copyright 1988.
Yeah. It doesn't say second print, third print, fourth print, nothing.
Not on this page.
Did you pay like more than $20 for this thing?
Yes.
Okay, you may want to put this back in the plastic and not read that one. We may want to just verify it's the first print because the first print would be worth money. How
would I find it? Wait, something on the back?
No. It's if it's not there, it's probably first print. I'll double check my notes and make sure I'm not misleading you. But yeah, because what'll happen with the spine as you read it? Here's a Dark Knight Returns. This is Miller's other piece. This is Miller's gem that everyone will talk about with Killing Joke. It's this classic, iconic story, hardcore Batman, that kind of thing. And as you read them, because of the cardstock, this spine, you'll see the white creases, you'll see all that. You don't want to read a first print of Killing Joke because it's going to be very difficult to not create those marks on it.
Right.
And there's got to be a cheap 13th print or something we can find for you to read.
Okay.
When you held it up, I panicked because it was green. Because any of them are green. I was like, hold on, red tape. Hold on, full stop. It's green. It could be a first print.
I'm glad you're here then, because I'm just a total normie noob and I don't know anything.
I know. Hence the name, hence the brand. I got it. It's the same thing with the Wolverines. I was like a little panicked because by the time I think I saw your first video, you had already finished issue 2, and I'm like, oh man, those are expensive. But she sure is enjoying them. Yeah.
Well, and then I was like, I need to be so careful with these. And I realized the comic books have a black cover. They show wear and tear so much faster because I have some older ones just that I've got like secondhand or whatever.
Yep.
And so like that Wolverine that's like the black cover, I'm like, okay, I'm not like I'm reading this once and it's going back in and I'm not taking this out again. Like I'm not.
That's so funny.